How many times have you, as an online high ticket coach, gotten on a sales call that you thought went really well, but at the end of the call, your prospect ultimately didn't buy? Wouldn't it be nice if you had an expert review that call line by line, word by word, and show you exactly why it didn't close? And wouldn't it be nice to take that newfound information to your next call so you could ultimately bump your close rate? Well, that's exactly what I'm doing in this video with my client, Ben. I'm breaking down a call for his $4,000 offer line by line, showing him exactly why it didn't close. That way he can get better going into his next calls so we can ultimately close more deals and make more money. Now, you might be watching this video thinking, well, who the f- is this guy and why is he qualified to review calls? I've taken over 7,000 one-to-one high ticket sales calls. This month alone, I have a 94% close rate and I've collected over $7 million in cash in the world of online high ticket sales. Grab a pen and paper, sit back and take some notes. If your close rate is below 40%, you need to pay attention to this video because I guarantee half of the things I'm breaking down for Ben, you're currently doing on your calls and it's killing your close rate.
4K offer to people, to videographers, to help them with the business side, lead acquisition, niching, marketing. Call went really well. Felt like I held the frame well. I felt like I dug into pain well. And then it goes the way that it goes. Feel like I'm about to walk in the ring with fucking Mike Tyson right now, bro.
You are.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good.
Thanks for joining, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
How's your day off so far?
Say that again.
How's your day going so far? Good?
So far, so good. Let me find my AirPods. That'll make it sound better.
Okay.
MacBook Pro.
That's where he disconnects.
Mm-hmm. I lost you.
Just gonna disconnect here, fine. And come back there.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear and see you now. It just freaked out for me suddenly.
You doing the AirPods or not? I can hear you.
Yeah, good. No AirPods. I was like that. As soon as I did that, for some reason the FaceTime camera just went away. So I'm like,
Okay.
what did I do? Like, that doesn't have a camera on it. What are you doing?
Let's not roll those dice then. That's fine.
Yeah, not more. We're good.
Dude, what room are you in? I'm trying to work it out.
Right? No, it's a basement. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it looks cool. Okay, dude. So like, I'm super aware that I don't want to waste your time, and I'm positive you don't want to waste mine. So like, if you're happy, should we just get straight into it?
Okay, so far we've done rapport, right? And we're 2 minutes in. We want to do rapport, frame, and pain in those same 2 minutes. Now, I know you're at a slight disadvantage because he disconnected from the call, but the way you start the call, super friendly. You're kind of laughing, giggling. You guys are kind of just hanging out. And what will help you a ton, if you want to write this down, collapse the gap of silence. In the beginning of your call, it's mission critical that there's virtually zero silence. So as soon as you ask him a question, the second he's done answering, boom, you jump in with the next question. If you watch that again, we won't go back, but on your own time, if you watch it again, there's just so much downtime. It's almost like awkward. And he's like, should I be speaking, or like, should I not be speaking? Like, what's going on? He's not a masculine prospect, but if you have a super masculine prospect, you'll lose the call in the first 12 seconds because they are up here from authoritative leadership. You're down here. Your confidence, even if you are confident, it seems lower. We want to speed through this. We almost want to talk a little bit faster, speeding up our cadence.
Okay.
So it's like, hey, Jacob, how's the week going for you so far? As soon as he says good, before I give him the chance to ask me how my week is going, I just go to my next question. Cool. Where are you located? I'm over here in Florida. Awesome, man. So here's what I want to do. And I frame the call. What's interesting is you wasted time here. And then you were like, yeah, let's not waste time. But you already did waste time. And then you ask a question, which gives away your authoritative leadership. You're like asking him like, hey, can we just get into it? Your calls will run 100 times better, collapsing the gap of silence. And instead of asking for permission to get into it, you just lead into it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So dude, like, tell me, like, based on the very small conversation we had on Instagram, what's making you want to get on the call today?
Like I've seen.
And really, we didn't frame the call at all. we did rapport and then pain. We skipped our frame. So we have to frame this call. It's like, so Jacob, here's what I want to do. It's not what we should do or what we can do. It's like, here's what I want to do because I'm the leader. I'm taking control of this call. So yeah, Jacob, here's what I want to do. I know we chat a little bit on Instagram before jumping on this call, so I have some context of who you are and what you do. Definitely have some additional questions. I want to dive a bit deeper. Really just want to see if I can help you. If everything looks good, I'll build you out some higher level strategy and show you what it would look like to partner up. And if for whatever reason things look bad and I can't help you, hopefully at the very least I can point you in a different direction. Cool? Yeah, man, for sure. Great. So like I said, I know we chat on Instagram a little bit, but I would love to hear from you directly. What's got you on the call today? What can I do for you? Rapport, frame, pain. Collapse the gap in rapport, strong frame, and then your opening question.
And you do all that in like 2 to 3 minutes?
No, 2 minutes or less.
Okay.
Always, 100%, every time.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Seeing your content, I see your strategy, and I like it because right now I don't have a strategy. I've mostly done word of mouth, and it's been great. Like, I've had awesome clients I've worked with people I never thought I'd work with before.
I do word of mouth. It's been great. Well, great is an arbitrary term. Like, it's very relative. Like, what you get one client a day, one client a month. Like, what does great mean? I'm not going to interrupt him, but I'm going to write it down on my paper. Great, question mark, because this is how I can humble his ego and show him how much further he can go. Hey, man, I know you said like word of mouth has been great. How many clients are you getting every month from word of mouth specifically? No, I get like 2-3 clients a month. I mean, just out of curiosity, how many clients do you want per month? Man, if I could get like 10, 12, that'd be awesome. Okay, so with the very small handful of clients that you're getting, like, you had defined that as great. Like, are you happy with that, or do you want to grow the business? Well, you know, it's been and then now he's taking back what he said and he's realizing it's not that great.
And do you like almost break him off to jump into that, or
no, because he's probably going to ramble about some other good stuff, and I want to hear what he has to say, so
okay.
I won't cut him off. But I will absolutely write that down and ask him, and then I might get creative, and I might say a vaguer question of like, yeah, how many clients are you getting? And like, he's probably going to give you per month, right? So maybe he says 6. I'm going to say, is that per day or is that per month? And he's like, 6 per day. Like, holy shit. And it showed him, dude, what kind of clients does he work with? Like 6 a day? Like, is that even possible? Like, I would be making so much. And he's like, holy shit. Like, and it shows that you think big and it attracts him to working with you. Hey, real quick, sorry to take you away from the video, but if you're a high ticket coach, consultant, closer, or agency owner, and you're currently taking more than 30 sales calls per month, and your close rate is anything less than 40%, I guarantee you have a sales problem. And what I'm gonna do for this video only, if you're watching this, down below is a link to book a call with me. Now, what's gonna happen is you're gonna click that link, you're gonna pay me $97, and you're gonna show up to a one-on-one call with me. On that call, you're gonna bring me a sales call that didn't close, and I'm gonna break it down just like I'm doing in this video, top to bottom, start to finish, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why it didn't close. Click the link down below, schedule in a call with me. I'll then send you an invoice for $97. That's just to make sure that you actually show up to the call. We'll break it down top to bottom. I'll show you why it didn't close, and we'll get you the help that you need. Now let's get back to the call review with Ben.
Gotcha.
When people give me their revenue and I know it's per month, I'm like, cool, is that like per day, per week? Oh no, that's like 30K per month. I'm like, oh, okay. I just write it down, then I go to my next question. Who the fuck does this guy work with?
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Lots of things just from building relationships. But I know that's not sustainable, and that comes with seasons of like, wow, everything's busy. Like, there's a lot of work coming in. I don't know what's going to happen. And then the next month is like, dude, there's no work coming in. I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm looking for making it a system, looking for making it being able to generate leads and being able to say no to.
At the bottom of your paper, we need to write down the word system, because that's what he called it. I need a system. And we also need to write down consistency, because right now his lead flow is like peaks and valleys, ton of leads, no leads, ton of leads, no leads. He wants to level off his lead flow to have consistency. So I'm going to write those 2 words at the bottom of my paper. Then when I go to pitch him, I'm going to weave those 2 words into my pitch because they're important to him.
Gotcha.
Some potential clients, and instead of just taking everything that comes my way.
Okay. And how long? Like, obviously, you said that you've worked with some clients and it's been really well, and then other times it's not been so good. So, like, what's changed?
There hasn't been a not ideal client necessarily. Just not everybody.
It's an okay question. I would rather get granular to the numbers because I still don't know how much money he's making, how many clients he's getting, how many referrals through word of mouth he's getting. Like, I don't know. I need to quantify everything to the numbers. So I'm just going to use the 2 ranges. Hey, when you say like you have a ton of leads coming in, how many leads per month is that? Okay, cool. And when you say you have like no leads coming in, is it literally like non-existent, like 0? Yeah. Okay, so on the months where you get all those leads, like what's your revenue that month? Cool. And then when you get no leads, like, do you just make no money? Yeah, just make no money that month. Man, that's tough. So I'm showing him that he has a problem.
Has the budget to pay. Like, I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian my whole life. I like working with nonprofits. I like working with churches. But they.
And now I'm taking out all my fucking curse words because he says, he's putting it out there. I'm Christian. I work with nonprofits. Like, I curse on almost every call unless they tell me something like that.
Okay, cool.
Then I'll just remove it because I don't want to like rub them the wrong way.
Sure.
They are terrible at having good budgets and valuing video. Like, they value video, but they just don't. It's hard to show them the results and be able to turn that. So I've had some clients that have just more or less been favors, helping them out, not necessarily like sustaining my family well. And they understood that, and they valued my time and did never try to take advantage from that. But I really like working with clients that are mission minded and have good that do good work, and not necessarily everybody that's just about profit.
I'm also going to challenge that because that's a radical false belief. Like, I'm a Christian. I got plenty of money to spend. Do you know how many nonprofits there are with catastrophic budgets that they can spend on whatever the hell they want? So, like, I'm going to challenge that. He probably has a sales problem being able to articulate the value to get these people to spend money. So he now has built this false belief in his head that Christians and nonprofits don't have the budget and don't have the money to spend. So I'm going to challenge that, which will build my authority to help him reframe his brain about, hey, maybe you just have a sales problem. Maybe you're just not good at communicating the value to where these people are willing to stroke a check.
Gotcha. Cool.
And did I read as well that you moved to a new state, right?
Yes, I moved to a new state. Was in Tennessee, close to the Nashville area, and I moved to Franklin County, Pennsylvania. That move was triggered because we have 3 kids, about to have 4, and my wife was like, dude, I need to be my family. Let's move back to where, and that's where she grew up. So we're next to all my in-laws and everything. So,
Was the video side of things working much better in Tennessee compared to Pennsylvania?
I would say
Good question.
would say yes, but I've literally been here like less than a month, so I can't be like, it sucks here because I don't know yet.
Okay. And are you full-time video?
Yes.
Freelancer?
Yes.
What work have you done since you moved? And sorry, better question for my English brain. How far is that between where you moved from and to where you are?
It's like a handful of states away.
Oh, so
like their distance.
Driving like 20, 30 hours, like a long way?
Probably closer to 15 hours.
Okay, so like jobs you had back then, probably can't do them now.
Yes and no. Like, I'm actually flying back to Nashville area this weekend to film a live event and to finish up a podcast studio build that I was like started before, but then the client had to finish some things, and now I'm going back to help them finish another project. So like, yes and no. I can hop on a plane and go over there, but that's not like ideal. I don't want to do that multiple days in a week. Does that make sense?
Tell me, like, why is this all of a sudden a problem? If like you were in Tennessee before, things were cushy, perhaps you were making good money, you've moved. Why now? Like, what's triggered this?
Like, the new state knew. I want to figure out, like, okay, I knew that things weren't perfect before we left. Like, the business.
Right.
Okay. So I had a full-time job right before leaving. We had the agency, we had our thing, but then I was working for a YouTuber full-time right before leaving. It was an okay situation, but I saw a lot of red flags in his business and everything, and I was just like, yeah, we're moving. I'm not trying to stay on with you. Because there were some ideas of remote positions, there was some ideas of some stuff there, but I just saw enough red flags. He's hit his peak. He's an older guy that's trying to do younger YouTube, and it's not going to work out for him long term. Not wanting to put him down at all, but like, he's reached his peak. Anyways, so that's what I was doing right before moving. So that was my cushy. The needs were met. But with this move, I wanted to go back to full-time freelance because there's just not many other creatives here. So like, I couldn't go find another full-time job easily here. So I'd rather just grind and figure out what the business looks like and make my own money and not work for somebody else's money.
How much money do you need to make per month to go full-time video without having to go get another job? That should be your only next question. We need the specifics. Then once we know how much money he makes, then we can ask how much on average he charges per shoot. Now we know exactly how many deals he needs to close every single month to hit his revenue goal.
Mhm.
Pretty simple. Now we know the value that we can provide to him. Like, cool, man. So if you can just get 12 jobs a month, then you can hit your income goal. You can support your family, your 3 kids, you know, 4th one on the way. By the way, when's that 4th one due? Oh, it's due in like 3 months. Got it. If we were going to partner up and work together, my program's going to require like 7 hours a week or whatever it is, 2 hours, 10 hours, whatever. Like, is that possible right now with the baby coming up? Because now I want to make sure that timing isn't the objection. Well, hey man, I'm really busy for a couple months. Like my wife is almost due. Like, let me just have the baby and I'll get back to you later on. So now I'm going to ask a question about timing, knowing that he has 3 kids and another one on the way. Sounds like pretty soon. I'm going to make sure that that's not an objection later on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the pain is very much like you don't want to go back to the 9 to 5 grind. You want to make something for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me this as like dad to dad.
Yeah.
The reason you want that, is it because you want to have more control around your time, or is it because you want to make more money, or is it both?
It's both, like control around time so I can be more present, but also make enough money that I'm not worried about whether I'm present or like, yeah, the kind of one in the same in my mind. But also
Sure.
like just working for who I want to work for and making cool stuff.
Dude, we got to help this guy. Like in my brain, 8 minutes into this call, I have made up my mind at this point. I need to close this guy by any means necessary. Because if I don't close him, he will have to then go work a shitty job that he doesn't like. And his 3, soon to be 4 kids will not have their dad as present in their life as they deserve because you didn't close their dad on your program to help him scale his business to the point where he can spend more time with them. I take that personally, and I take that responsibility on my own shoulders. And I'm still going to go through my process, but I am closing this guy 100%. There's no way I let this guy off the phone without closing him because I know he really fucking needs me. His kids need me to close them, to close their dad. I owe it to him and his family to ensure that this guy buys. That's why I say that sales is service. I'm not trying to get this guy. I'm trying to change this guy's life. And the way to do that is by getting him to give me a credit card and enrolling into my program.
Okay.
How long have you been into video for?
I've been doing videos since 2017. I've not
Okay,
been freelancing that long, but I've been in different video jobs. I think I started freelancing maybe 2020. I feel like that's when everyone got their start. But yeah, somewhere around 2020.
So is it fair to say then the move has really like inspired you to fix what was broken in Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing for like? Are you getting many jobs in Tennessee currently?
Not many jobs in Tennessee.
What have you done?
There's
Sorry,
a handful of things. But
sorry, not Tennessee, in Pennsylvania.
Yes, just freelance, just through another creative agency. There's like one other creative agency that they're kind of good, kind of not. They started as web development, which is awesome. They don't do much video, but they're like, hey, we have a small video team and we have a few things that need edited. So that's actually what I was just working on. They gave me a project to edit.
We just need higher level specifics. Your question, the quality of your questions, like they're just not that great. Like politely, they're okay. They just need to be better. So they need to be more specific, like cutting through the noise. So instead of saying, "Are you getting many jobs?" How many jobs specifically did you get last month? Like we need to be granular on these numbers. Everything right now we're talking about is all on the surface level. We need the specifics, A, to sell him, and B, for him to sell himself that, yeah, this is really bad. I need some help.
Okay.
Everything right now is relative. I need specifics.
Like, oh, this is awesome. It's a YouTube series, like 25 videos, and I think I'm getting like $2,000 or more for it. So that's a good like, hey, I'm making some income, but it's not like my own project, and I'm not calling shots. I'm literally just finishing up an edit. I'm not like
an editor for hire, essentially. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so like we got income, but it's not like finding new clients.
And did that agency that you're working with now on the editing side, is that an agency you knew prior to moving?
Yeah. So what happened with that is I actually applied to work there a year or two ago when we first said, hey, let's enough money to make sense to make the move and to have 3 kids. So I was like, all right, I don't think I could work for you guys full time right now. We're gonna stay here in Tennessee. We're gonna figure out what we can make work here until we can figure out a way to make the move. Finally, we're just like, screw it, let's just go. And that's what we did. And they even brought me in. They're like, hey, we had the person we hired instead of you, he's already leaving, but we're gonna morph our creative company into just 2 people instead of a 3-person team. And like hire from within, like make the guy that was just a cinematographer, make him the producer.
Yeah.
And then they said, but we want to hire you whenever we can because we know you do good stuff. Because I had already gone through the process. They made an offer, but I was like, it wasn't worth it. It was like 35 to 40 grand. I was like, I can't do that.
Did you say they're making the cinematographer the producer?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
So level with me here then. How much are you currently making from freelance and everything? Like since you've moved, like what's the average?
Like since moving, not enough. Like it's like this $2 grand project, and I'm probably going to be making about $1 grand from what I'm flying back to Nashville for. Like expenses covered. So like maybe $3 grand.
You made $3 grand since you moved.
Yeah. Like after I finish these things, but that's like what's projected.
How much do you need to make? That's the only next question we ask. We need the specifics there.
Okay. And have you got any work booked in for next month or anything like that?
Sorry, it froze. Do you have any
That's
work booked for?
Have you got any? Yeah.
No, nothing yet. So that's where I'm like, this is great. I'm making it work. But
Dude, that's a really good question. Great question. One of your best so far. Do you have any work booked in for next month? And he's like, no. And you can kind of see, he's like, shit, no, I don't have anything. Before I asked that, I would have asked how much he needs to make, and then would have asked, well, what does the pipeline look like? Do you have anything booked in for next month? No. Got it.
I don't want to be making it work every single month.
Yeah, it's feast or famine, right?
And I need to do that.
Yeah, you need to eat that, bro. Come on, bro. Videographer, you should know that.
Yeah, I know. I've been here like 20 days. I haven't had time to set this up. Normally this would be a nice camera right there, but it's not. It's
I hear
FaceTime.
you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
it's all good. Okay, so
So-
you were asking about March. I told you that, like, yeah, it's like this nothing projected for March right now.
Okay. When you were back in Tennessee, how much were you on average making per month, freelance and job combined?
Closer to 6 grand, I would say.
Okay. Closer to 6. And like,
Yeah.
what do you need to be making per month to cover bills, like just to survive and keep everything in check?
Like 4 grand, just because we have a
Okay.
lot of student loans right now, and so we're actually pretty close to paying off a lot of those, so things will go down, but closer to 4 grand.
Okay, so you're projected to make
So there's another motivation that I can weave into my pitch, the student loans.
Mm.
So we have the kids and the family, and now we have student loans.
3K this month. Are you the sole breadwinner, sole salary earner, or does your wife work
Yeah,
too?
my wife is also a photographer, but she's mostly mom, so we're not trying to count on her stuff. We're trying to make hers just be bonus.
Of course, especially when she's got 3 and a 4th on the way. She's not gonna have time, right?
Exactly. It's like I feel bad if she's making more money than me.
Yeah,
You're
bro.
doing everything.
Yeah.
What am I
yeah.
doing?
Exactly. So you're making 3 for this month. That means
There's the other motivation. His wife doesn't have to work. He can make enough money to support the whole family.
for this month you're going to be $1 grand down.
Mhm.
Okay. Talk to me about runway then. Obviously, you've made this move. I'm assuming you saved some money to help you
Yeah.
get along.
We've got, I would say we are okay for, what is it, till April or May. Like we're more than fine.
So you got like 3 months of runway.
And then what happens?
Mm.
You see how you're asking a question up here, and then I'm showing you how to go deeper and deeper and deeper down that question based on his answer from the original question?
Yeah, I'm going wide, not deep.
Yeah.
Okay. So like between 15 and 20K,
reasonable.
right? Oh,
Freezing. Sorry, it totally froze. You did your sigh after I said like 3 months, and then that's all I got. So I got to sit in that emotion for that long, and I didn't get anything else.
dude, it's the calls are
That's
breaking
good.
it, like it's making it a bit of an emotion.
What a perfect time for the call to freeze. That's perfect. And then he recognizes it. Like, yeah, I got to sit with that. Doesn't feel good. Good.
Roller coaster. I quite enjoy it. Right. So let's just say
Yes.
between the 15 and 20 is kind of what you got for runway, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And you have no lead acquisition system in order to bring more money in reliably.
No.
How does that feel?
Not great.
When you said that you were freelance full time before, right? Back in Tennessee.
Yeah. So like for
No, he had the YouTuber that he was working with as well.
Hmm.
He never said he was full time. He said he did that and then he supplemented income with the YouTube person.
Okay.
about maybe 10 months until I found this YouTuber that wanted me full time, and so I went on with him. That was from like July till I left to move here end of January. So
Okay.
it feels like my story's skewed because it's like full-time job, freelance, full-time job, moved to Pennsylvania, and full-time freelance again. So there's like a little bit of jumbly mess in there. So it's like trying to figure out what we were doing back then and why it was working and bringing it to now and here.
When you did it for 10 months, were you aware of the feast or famine cycle by not having a client acquisition system? Does that resonate?
Yeah. I really felt that it was literally feast or famine. Like, hey, here's a bunch of things. And I kept feeling like it was okay because cool new things would come in. I'd be like, wow, I guess this works. But that was just because of relationships. It was not because of a working. It was just because, I happened to meet this guy at this one time and I was able to turn that into a thing, like, which is awesome, but it's not a system.
Another lever that you can pull here is to decimate the objection of like, well, I'm just going to build up my network here. I would ask him how long it took to build up his network to the point where he was getting referrals. And we already know the answer. He started in 2020, and then in 2024 is really when the referrals started coming in. He has a 3-month run rate, not a 3 or 4 year run rate. So I can destroy the objection of like, hey, like, let me kind of network and figure it out and try and get some referrals, because I'm going to show him right here in discovery that last time he did that, it took him 3 or 4 years. Obviously, that is not a reliable way to get business when you have a 3-month run rate and then you're dead broke.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and when you had that, when you were going through that in those 10 months, did you try anything system-wise or lead acquisition-wise to fix it at the time?
I just tried to post on social media. I didn't have to figure out anything other than that. And there wasn't a lot. Like, I look back at this post and I'm like, I literally like barely scroll. And then I'm like, oh, wow, that's the beginning of when we started in like 2020. That's our first post. And then like barely scroll up. I'm like, oh, that's where we are now. Like, dang, I'm bad at social media. I can make it for other people, but I don't know how to make it for myself.
My good friend, that's the curse of being a videographer.
Yep. It's like, I just want to make it perfect.
So tell me, like, what social media platform was that on? Instagram?
Instagram. Yeah. That's what I like the most. I know it's not the best. It may not be the best for conversions and everything, but I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got a great understanding of where you sit financially, where things are at, runway, timeline, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think it's likely you're going to have more freelance work come in between now and when the runway runs out based on your relationships?
I would think so, because like I went to a networking thing yesterday morning and everyone was like, oh, you're a videographer. That's cool. I have these stories I want to tell. Can I get your card? Let's talk. And so I'm going to reach out to those people I was planning on later today or tomorrow just to see if it turns into anything. But yeah, I don't fully expect like that runway to grow a ton. I just expect to keep growing a little bit.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. That's really good to hear. So your wife then, so she obviously has a photography background. She's obviously raising the kids. Is she aware of this system problem that you have had for a while?
Yeah. And that was one thing. We both kind of in this business, and then we're creatively different. And so we're always at conflict. I was like, we need to figure out a system. We can't just keep pretending like this works. So she's aware of it, and she's more like hands off, like, yes, Jacob, go take it. Go figure out what this looks like. Because she doesn't want to be fully involved. She likes doing stuff. She likes creating, but she doesn't like the business side of things. And
sure. No,
figuring that out.
She's a true creative mum. I get that. My wife's the same.
Yes.
So does she know that we're on a call?
Yes.
What does she think about this call?
She was like, Jacob, we don't have money to hire a coach right now. I was like, yes, I understand. But we need help. So I want to at least hop on and see what he has to say. And
you see how here you're kind of like slight smile, kind of nodding your head. Like it's a very agreeable nonverbal cue where you're kind of smiling. You're kind of nodding like, yeah, like agreeing. I'm going to sit back and kind of touch my face and ponder like with a very confused look. And when he's done talking, I would say, well, can you really afford not to hire a coach right now? Because that's an objection. The wife already saying, don't spend any money. Also, at this point in the call, I'm making up my mind. I'm not pitching him at all. His wife is obviously a decision maker. She obviously has a say in the finances, raising like 3 kids, soon to be a 4th. Like, she can't really work. She's going to be involved in the finances 100%. So then I'm going to finish my discovery and I'm going to book a follow-up right before I pitch to chat with him and the wife together, because I know that she's going to kill this deal. He's going to get to the end of this call. I can almost guarantee, if I was a betting man, he's going to get to the end of the call, be like, oh, Ben, I really want to work with you. I really like you. Let me run this by the wife. I got to get her buy-in on this. I really want to do it. And then you're going to be like, okay, sounds good. And then this guy's a really nice guy. He probably will get back to you. And then he's going to send you an email the next day and be like, hey, I chat with Cheryl. And like, she says we can't do it. Like, we really got to save money right now with the new baby and she can't work and blah, blah, blah. That's how this is going to go. Is that right? Or is that right?
You were pretty psychic. Yeah.
Yeah. After reviewing thousands of these calls, I figured it out pretty quick.
Yeah.
you made the mistake of not going deep enough in discovery, but really the main mistake was even pitching him, knowing like I would have finished this call probably right around this section. I wouldn't have pitched this guy, knowing his wife is going to be involved. There's just no point. You're not talking to all the decision makers. If it's impossible to one call close, I don't want to have the conversation. It's a waste of my time.
So do you just take it then into a fan ban where you just say, how about we have another call with the wife? Or
yeah, it's like, hey, Jacob, here's what we need to do, man. I know I can help you and I can get you out of this situation that you're in and I can help you make insert goal. We still don't know what his goal is. We know his minimum goal is like $4,000, $5,000 to cover the bills, but like what gets him excited? Nobody wants to just get by and cover the bills. Like he wants to build a nest egg. He wants to start putting money away for his kid's college fund or whatever the other goals are. So it's like, look, dude, I'm 100% confident I can help you get to 30 grand a month with your videography business, but we got to get your wife on a call. Like we have to be able to sell this to your wife or she's just going to kill this deal and you're not going to get the help that you need. And it's just going to be a slow path to bankruptcy because the run rate's not going to get built. And then you're going to be out of cash. Now your wife is going to have a 6-week-old child, but she's forced to go back and find photography gigs to help supplement the income. That's not going to make you feel very good as a dad and a husband and the man of the house. I know we can help you, but we have to explain this to your wife so she understands what I can do for you as well.
that
And
makes
then
sense.
bam, from a meeting, book a meeting, and then I book a follow-up call, 100%.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
In my opinion, from doing this for 6 years with a lot of people, if you would have done a deeper, more intelligent, better discovery, you fam-bammed with the wife, I think you can close this deal. But that's really the only way this deal can get closed.
Yeah, he was pretty bought in by the end of it, but like you said, it's like speak to the wife, and then I've seen them go like that 100 times where it's just like, nah, sorry.
Yeah, but if he was really bought in, he would have done it independent of the wife. Because if he was 1,000% confident, he would not give a shit what his wife had to say because he knew 100% certainty that Ben is going to take me to the promised land and my wife might be pissed off at me for a couple of weeks or a month. But when I start making 10, 15, 30K a month, she's not going to give a shit what I did.
Yeah.
But we can use the wife as a scapegoat. Oh, I got to run it by Cheryl. But if you were 1,000% confident that this was the right decision, you would make up your mind and do it anyway, regardless of what the wife said.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If he has any lingering doubts, then he wants his wife to buy in with him. That way, if it doesn't work, they made a joint decision, so it lessens the burden of responsibility on him.
That's good.
If he's not willing to take that gamble and take that risk, it's because he's not 100% bought in.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to have egg on his face going and doing it anyway. It doesn't work out. And then his wife is like, yeah, I told you. And now they're at odds. And now she's like, you're irresponsible. We have 4 kids now. Da, da, da. Like now it's a whole rift inside the marriage because he took a calculated risk and it didn't work out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, big time.
For sure.
Figure out where we are and figure out what that might look like in the future.
Okay. What do you think about her reasoning there?
I can agree because it's like, well, we have this much money. We need to make sure our family is taken care of before we go and spend. Like, we got a bigger house this time. Like, we're renting and we're spending the same money we spent in Tennessee, and we have a bigger house. And I'm like, we need to go get a couch for there. We need to fill the space. She's like, bro, we don't have that money yet. Like, yes, you want to be able to flourish in our new space, but no, it's not time. So I'm a lot more of a, I guess, the creative spender. I just like, hey, this is going to better our lives. So let's do it. And she's like, whoa, hang on. We need to calm down and we need to make sure that the numbers actually work. I was like, the numbers will work once we buy that thing, once we buy the new camera, once we buy that different lens. But that's not great.
Okay, so tell me, like, working with a coach obviously isn't free. It costs money, but it massively collapses the amount of time and mistakes that you're going to make, right? So are you the sort of person that values time or money?
Of course, the internet's starting to be weird now. It even gave me a warning this time. It froze. It said, are you a person that values time? And then it's like, and gone. But you're here. I see you. You're moving now.
I'm here, bro. I didn't leave. Don't worry. So are you a person that values time or money more? Because obviously working with a coach, it's going to cost money, but it's going to collapse the amount of time and mistakes you're going to make to get where you need to go.
Yeah. Obviously I value your time. I value my time more than money, I would say. So, yeah.
So if you and your wife are of this mindset that you don't have resource to hire a coach to get you out of this problem, what happens in 3 months' time if you don't have a system? Like, which way is your head going?
My head, I don't know fully which way my head's going. That's why I wanted to still, like, even though she was in conflict about it, that's why I still wanted to hop on a call and figure out what does coaching even look like, and how. I don't know. I want to figure out my systems. I want to figure out how to get leads. And so this is kind of the way I saw to do it, was to hop on and talk about it. I don't know if I answered your question.
Tell me this. Imagine we never had a conversation. You get to mid to late April, early May. What situation do you see yourself in?
We'd be asking my in-laws for money, and but before April, I would be in a full-time job somewhere random, like waste management, and be figuring stuff out.
Okay, so let's fast forward to that time. You don't hire a coach. You don't fix the problem. Money gets tight. You get a job. Okay, you're in the job. How do you have the skills to get out of the job?
I don't think I would have the skills necessarily to get out of the job.
Right. So just play God with me for a moment. Think about the paths that you have. I'm not even saying you hire me, but I'm saying hire someone. Hire a coach.
That's good. Like where you're like, I'm not trying to get you into my program. I'm just telling you need to do something. That's really good.
Get the help you need. Get more freelance work. Don't hire a coach, and then
figure it out.
Yeah. Or don't hire a coach, get a full-time job, stay stuck in a job.
Yeah.
Do you agree those are your three options?
Pretty much. I think so. Like, I want that middle one of like, don't spend much money, make good money. But like, that's really hard to get there.
Yeah. So I want to go down this path. You kind of laugh and agree, but I'm going to tell him like, yeah, man, but that's not possible. Like, I'm going to be way more neutral, way more masculine instead of way less agreeable. Like you're laughing, smiling, agreeing with them. I'm going to be like, yeah, like, wouldn't it be nice? But that's not possible. Like, dude, you've already tried this in Tennessee for 4 years and look what it got you, barely getting by, still having to go work for other people. Like, for things to change, you have to change. And the only way to change is access to new and better information. I have that information and I can help you, but it's going to cost you money to get that help.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So if I could wave a magic wand, Jacob, let's just say that 6 months time, where would you love to be? What would you love to be doing? How much would you love to be earning? What kind of shoots do you want to be on? What does life look like for you and the wife?
Yeah. 6 months time would be awesome to be working with, like, ideal client, mission minded.
Okay. Do you think that you're going to be able to get 10K a month by yourself?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So
see, that part was good. He says no, and then you kind of just look like, damn, like that's tough. Like you can see your energy through the screen.
Yeah.
That was executed very well.
I'm just trying to hold a mirror up to you, right? Just so it's like, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to be.
No, you're good.
I think this is good coaching when you just hold a mirror up to someone.
So this is good.
You know that you need to make a change. You know that you need help. You and your wife probably have clear goals about where you want to go, but you're also a mindset of, we can't afford to do anything that's going to help us get out of that pit.
Yeah, because it's scary with just the 3 months of like, so you want to spend, I don't know what your fee is, I don't know what it is, like you want to spend $1,000 a month on somebody else when we need that $1,000 a month to stay afloat. Like that's where I know the conflict is going to be. And like,
yeah, but Jacob, do you want to just stay afloat? Do you want to just get by? Or do you want to live an extraordinary life? Do you want to have more money than you know what to do with? Do you want to have the ability to have so many leads and so many clients that you get to hand pick and choose who you work with out of passion and alignment rather than desperation because you need income for your family? Like, Jacob, we got to start thinking about this in a radically different way, man. Like, you guys are literally on a slow path to bankruptcy. When I say bankruptcy, you're actually not going to file bankruptcy, but you're going to have to go to your in-laws. You're going to have to go to the parents of your wife and ask them for money. Bro, I don't know about you. I'd rather be homeless than go to my in-laws and ask them for money. Like, what that would do to my ego and my confidence as a man, like, bro, I'd rather just be homeless. Or you're going to go into a job, you said waste management or something random that you don't even like, which is going to pull you 40, 50 hours a week away from your family and your 4 kids. Like, bro, those aren't realistic options for you. You are a great videographer. I checked out some of your work. I know you have testimonials and reviews. Like, let's put your skill on full display. You're just missing the marketing and the sales piece to scale the business. And I'm 100% confident I can do that for you. But you got to start thinking about this run rate of money in a radically different way. We can spend a little bit to make a lot, or we can just slowly burn ourselves to the ground, ask our in-laws for money, and go work at a waste management plan.
You're good, Austin. I'll give you that.
Thank you. Done it once or twice. And then right around here, I'm going to book the follow-up, with the wife.
End it there.
Yeah, because we're 25 minutes into this call. And realistically, like we're missing a lot. So we know pain. I think we could have helped him sit in the pain a little bit better, but we got pain. We can check it off. Timing, we know he's got a 3-month run rate and then he's screwed. So we got timing. It's got to be now. Finances, we understand his financial situation. So we're good there. Partner, we know he has a partner. Good there. We know his current situation. We're good there. Goals, we kind of know his lower level goal, right? And then I think when I skipped a little bit, he had said 10K a month is really what he wanted to make. So like we can check that off. Past, we haven't asked like, hey, have you ever hired a coach or a mentor, worked with somebody before to collapse time, get you to where you want to go? So we could ask about that. Doubt, you had asked, he had already said, hey, I can't do this on my own. Like I need help. Comparison, we haven't asked like, hey, I know you're chatting with me, you're looking into any other coaches or courses, programs, anything else to help you. And then trust should be last, and we're not done with discovery. So maybe you ask it, maybe you don't.
I do ask those things there. Yeah.
Perfect. The difficulty with these is we can go deeper on all of them.
Yeah.
That like you hit them very wide, like you said, but we didn't get the depth that we really need to customize a pitch and articulate it in a way where he's like, shit, this is exactly what I need. I don't have another option. And right now there's a lot of objections and there's a lot of like lingering limiting beliefs on the table at this point in the call. What you need to do is start attacking these limiting beliefs and handling these objections as soon as they come up. Not just like, oh, you have a wife, she already said you shouldn't do it, and then we just skip over that and keep going through our discovery. She's going to blow up the whole deal. Like we have to handle that. We have to attack it, decimate it, like put that objection in the fucking dirt so we can then move on, or it's just going to come back and haunt us later. You're doing good to get the objection, but you're just kind of like, okay, and then you move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
those objections are going to come back and kill the sale.
And they do.
Of course. They always do.
Yeah.
It's typically what I coach my clients on are whatever you miss during discovery becomes the objection. Well, you didn't really miss anything. He gave you the objection. So even worse, you already know what the objection is, but you're just not handling it proactively. So then you're going to play defense reactively later, trying to scratch and claw to handle these objections. You got to handle them as soon as they come up during discovery. So discovery is just question, answer until your objection radar goes off. Like, oh, he just gave me an objection. I need to handle that.
Gotcha.
Right here,
then,
right now.
And you get to the point where you feel like you've got enough that you can then move into pitch.
You have to. Because if there's an objection that I cannot get through, then I'm not going to pitch them. It's a waste of my time.
Sure.
And the objection that you cannot get through is the wife. He's not going to override his wife. That's why I don't pitch. I book a follow-up with the wife, and then I close them together.
How do you, when you get to a point where you find someone like you shouldn't pitch them, what do you typically say?
Hey, I don't think you're the best fit for the program. And then I might send them a book or a resource or another program or something else. Like when people get on calls with me and they're like, yeah, I don't have enough leads. I'm like, cool, here's where to go get your leads. Like, I'm not your guy. I can't help you.
Yeah, fair enough. What would you rate out of 10? Being brutal.
4.
Okay. Better than a 3.
Better than a 2 and a 1 too, right? I mean, dude, look, you're doing okay. There's just a lot of little things that make a world of a difference on a one-to-one high ticket sales call. Like just the way you start the call, super friendly, kind of bantering back and forth, a lot of smiles, like a lot of gaps in between the words. So it starts a little awkward and a little slow. Like that alone is going to put you at a deficit. And now you're in a hole that you have to dig out of throughout the call.
Yeah. I feel like I get good at holding them accountable, holding that mirror up, but way later in discovery. I'd like to be able to do it way sooner.
Sure. And as these objections come up, dude, you just got to handle them, tackle them head on immediately. And then obviously we didn't go through the pitch, but your pitch, one, is for nothing because the wife isn't on the call. So I don't care. I don't give a shit what guarantees you gave or what you did in the pitch. It's not going to matter. But if we did listen to the pitch, it's not going to be customized enough to where there's enough meat on the bone of what we learned from discovery to weave into our pitch to get him make a buying decision. Like I say, he didn't have a wife or kids, and it's just him as the sole decision maker. I still don't know if you close that call with the depth of discovery that you did. I still think he's going to want to go think about it to contemplate, do I spend money? What is it, $4,000? Do I spend $4,000 with Ben? Or do I go wing it on my own so I don't eat up my run rate? I still think you're going to get the I need to think about it objection if he didn't have a wife.
How do you handle the I need to think about it objection, or is that something that you typically handle in discovery?
Yeah, it's handled in discovery. He would need to think about it because we didn't get him reframed about the run rate of cash. So he's still thinking maybe I could do, figure it out. I have this run rate. I want to hoard cash. But it's like, bro, if you want to get anything in life, you have to expand, not contract. You have to learn, invest, grow. You have to expand. That's why I spent 26 grand last week on myself and my business. Like, I want to expand. Do I want to spend 26 grand? Fuck no. Absolutely not. But I know it's going to collapse time and get me to where I want to go. So I do it anyway. And if he's already having these limiting beliefs in discovery, we have to attack those limiting beliefs, reframe his brain, and get him to start thinking, acting, and operating in alignment with the highest version of himself. Hoarding cash, knowing this run rate is going to run out. He even said it. He's like, yeah, I mean, I'll make 1,000 here, 2,000 there. I can extend the run rate a little bit, but it's not like in a big way. So I need to start reframing his brain to start getting him to operate from a higher frequency. And I need to do that in discovery right when that lower frequency comes up.
It's so ironic because his main objection was the exact same scenario, run rate. Every problem that he's going through is the same one I had before I joined Jeremy's program.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that I couldn't learn from my own call, my own prospect call to use that as leverage, because that's exactly what Matthias did. He didn't pitch. He fan-bammed.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same objection you gave me to joining my program.
No, mine was money.
Yeah, but money is run rate. Same shit.
True.
Because
This is where you pitch me.
Because you didn't ask me and say, hey, what kind of scrappy, like, dude, I will fucking do whatever it takes. What kind of scrappy payment plan can I do? Like, I will pay you whatever the fuck I have to pay you. So it's still an objection. Because if you really wanted to get into the program bad enough and you were operating as the highest version of yourself, you'd figure it out. You'd ask me for a scrappy payment plan or whatever, knowing that I could help you. I had a guy pay me all $700 that he had in his bank account and then went and made $50K a month from that investment with me.
Fuck yeah.
So it's like, bandwidth, timing, they're all objections, but the earlier we can get through them in discovery, the better off we are in terms of one call closing them. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hopefully you found it valuable. If you paid attention and your close rate is below 40%, I guarantee that you did. As I mentioned earlier, only on this video, nobody else knows about this except the people watching it. There's a link down below to schedule in a call with me. Once you schedule in a call, I will send you an invoice for $97. Once you pay that invoice, we will get on our call and I'll break down your call top to bottom, just like I'm doing here for Ben. And I will show you why this prospect did not buy from you in your biggest areas for improvement. So we can get you to a 40, 50, or 60% close rate as fast as humanly possible. Click the link down below, schedule in a time with me, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you then.